Picture a man you already know. Maybe he's your neighbor, your uncle, the guy 2 houses down who still leaves at 6:10 every morning with a lunch cooler that's older than his car. He did everything the way people said you should. Worked steady, paid taxes, raised decent kids, skipped the flashy stuff. No yachts, no crypto dreams, just ordinary, responsible life. And yet, in 2026, he's still clocking in after 65. Not for pride, not for boredom, but because stopping would break the math of his entire life. What happened in his 50s that quietly wrote this ending? I'll show you the single mistake almost no one notices, plus 3 plain, real fixes you can still use if you're anywhere near that decade. A man wrote online last month, "I'm tired in a place sleep doesn't reach. I want to retire the way thirsty people want water, but the numbers keep saying no." That isn't drama. That's a voice you've heard at family dinners. Most of these stories start gentle. 17 or 18, first paycheck smelling like freedom. A job that wasn't glamorous, but showed up every Friday. Life stacked itself in normal layers. Groceries on the counter, rent turning into a mortgage, a minivan with french fries between the seats, kids needing braces the same month the water heater died. Nothing exploded. And that calm becomes a trap. When the road doesn't shake, you assume the bridge ahead is solid too. Retirement becomes a word you promise to meet later, like an old friend you'll call after things slow down. By 2026, with prices creeping like mold behind the walls, that quiet confidence is where the cracks were hiding. What of the smooth years or the risky ones? Listen to another voice. "I can't retire until my wife reaches Medicare. One bad scan and we're done." Imagine that. 40 years of alarms before dawn, and freedom is chained to an insurance birthday. Premiums climb, deductibles bite. For many women, who often outlive husbands and carry caregiving breaks in their work history, the fear is louder, longer. Comment nudge. Tell me honestly, what keeps you up more? Health costs or running out of income? So you keep working, and working starts to feel different. In 2026, about 53% of everyday retirees rely on Social Security as their main income. Not dessert, dinner. The average check sits around $2,071 a month after a modest bump. That number was designed as a floor, yet for millions it became the whole house. Thin walls, shaky roof. But the real break didn't happen at 65. It happened in the 50s. The 50s are sneaky kind years. You still recognize yourself in the mirror. Knees complain but obey. Paychecks feel familiar, so the big overhaul waits. After the kids settle, after this promotion, one retiree admitted, "I've got enough to survive. I don't have enough to live without counting grapes in the store." That sentence is the cliff edge, especially for those who paused careers to care for parents or grandkids, watching savings leak away in love. And then one ordinary month changes the story. Polls say 40% fear they'll never save enough, yet most people in their 50s still feel oddly calm. The job badge works, the routine works. Confidence borrows tomorrow's strength. Reality charges interest. Here's the number almost nobody rehearses. A couple turning 65 can face $170,000 plus in healthcare costs across retirement. That isn't cruises and hobbies. That's hearing aids, copays, the physical therapy after a fall, the medicine that keeps your heart arguing with time. Medicare helps, but it doesn't hug you all the way. In the 50s, many people plan vacations instead of planning this invoice. Women especially, who statistically carry more years at the finish line. So what's the actual mistake? The mistake isn't laziness. It's treating retirement like a date on a calendar instead of a system you build. The 50s are a workshop, not a waiting room. Yet too many of us sit on the bench like halftime will last forever. One man who claimed benefits early said, "I thought I understood the cost. I only understood the month in front of me." And when 60 arrives, the bill gets heavy. The body votes even when the mind wants overtime. Commutes feel longer. Bosses look younger. You stop chasing progress and start guarding ground. Retirement turns from a dream to a locked door you keep walking past. For those who outlive partners, the cost isn't only dollars. It's quiet kitchens and decisions made alone. Money matters, but dignity matters more. These aren't theory. They came from people already on the other side. 1. Test drive retirement while still employed. Live for 12 months on 70 to 75% of your income. A teacher in Ohio tried this and found $420 a month bleeding into subscriptions and car leases she barely used. She fixed it before the paycheck stopped, when mistakes were still reversible. 2. Give healthcare its own envelope. Don't let medical costs hide inside miscellaneous. A truck driver told me he separated every pill, premium, and copay onto one page. The fear got smaller the moment it had borders. 3. One honest money conversation. No spreadsheets required. Just a kitchen table, a partner or adult child, and plain sentences. This is what we have. This is what scares me. People say that single talk often does more than years of silent guessing. Like nudge, tap like if one of those felt uncomfortably familiar. Let me leave you with a different ending. The big mistake was believing work would someday hand you freedom like a retirement cake with candles already lit. Freedom is quieter. It's built in small, slightly boring choices made before the storm arrives. If this stirred something uneasy, that's good. Uneasy is awake. You now know 3 moves most people discover 10 years too late. You know why that 53% statistic isn't just a number. It's neighbors, parents, maybe us. We talked about this in our last story on Social Security's limits, and we'll keep walking these paths together, without sugar, without shame. Tell me below, what part of your 50s worries you most right now?